Thank you for the opportunity. I want to acknowledge the Deputy Bishop in his absentia. I've seen him leaving the hall. The founding father of the Rokade Choir, Mr. Kluter with your spouse, the former president of the Rokade Choir, Mr. Kankab with your spouse, the president of the Great Rokade Choir, Mr. Tetemo with your spouse. I was told that the National Uitvoerende Committee blijkbaar nie Engels en naam nie. I would assume it's the National Executive, but I was told it's apparently an Afrikaans name. The Rokade Music Ministry, all other substructures of the choir, and of course the Great Rokade Choir. This is the Golden Jubilee. It's the 50th birthday. It's a great celebration. And therefore today we can only say, thus far the Lord has helped. Thus far the Lord has carried. Even high, yes sir. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Today begin toch today ke negran ko ko bab nang gumisina. Today ke half komro ba ni kuna na ko bab ngam minsa habade gini ang ata ida tikai kuna agumadir. So this is a big occasion worthy of a celebration. 50, of course, is big by all metrics, by all measures. It uses gold as a traditional theme because it's symbolic of the timeless quality you develop over 50 years span. Gold is valuable. How did it's covered at and it's beautiful. It's indicative of wealth and prosperity. The type of stability that one would expect most people would have that has turned 50 amongst us. The 50th Jubilee or the 50th year is a year that requires a reset in many different facets of life, whether it's economic, whether it's cultural, whether it's environmental or communal. 50 is symbolic of new beginnings, and I've heard the Deputy Bishop speaking about what 50 means in biblical terms. Now I've deliberately stayed clear of what it means in biblical terms because I'm not a preacher. This is the time that you celebrate all that you have accomplished in your life. And it's also symbolic of a new journey. After everything it also signifies completion. And it's a time where you sort of take off. I always tell people that I speak to that in your 20s and in your 30s, you are a hunter-gatherer. And that's right. I mean, it's quite rightly so. And it is about new beginnings. One must be in good health, be experienced enough to reflect upon your accomplishments so far. So if you are 50, what have you achieved by the age of 50? The ability to take things as they come. You don't waste time unnecessarily arguing with people who are not going to see your point of view. The courage to accept yourself as who you are. And fashion. The guards to age gracefully were trying to look young. The inside to see the fruitlessness of taking offense at every comment or criticism, whether it's online or offline. When Dami from Hatzagman Amos in oh, I'm engaged and Amos in Sagma to buy. Or to get faith that's come no courage to say. The generosity to let things go without even thinking of taking revenge. Having a growth and a learning mindset. And that's really for us, the younger clan. Having a growth and a learning mindset. We always talk, in the corporate, we talk about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And a growth mindset helps you and allows you to fail and to make mistakes, but to learn from those mistakes. It helps you to fail forward. Only a growth mindset can allow you to do that. It helps you to practice, to improve your life, and acquire new knowledge so that you can explore your life goals. A vision for yourself in life. That's what you have by 50. Didaka odaga ditene kamsa gurika miutske 50 ska. Iyo ne mudele kumsika waneko kau tisi kamdi sing akha nona disi kaburi kunega. Madikira kum ditskira harngan abi rechten ya ta hodwa. You know what's right and what's wrong. Bai nganu tida nganu makazati an sit ngahun ha ngoben ma. The commitment to live your own life and build it on your own, through your own deeds. A balanced life. A calmness to watch things happening, unfolding. The wisdom to realize that nothing is permanent in this world. That everything is seasonal. That even you yourself are not permanent. Sooner or later, of course, we will be marked to march. These are some of the things that by the age of 50, if you sit back and reflect on that, you must actually think of as what you have accomplished and what you have not accomplished. And you realize that none of the things that I spoke about is material in life. I mean, that's besides the point, and I'm not talking about those. And if you have not accomplished that, then you must probably resort and say, I'm still work in progress. So you are 50 as the Rogade choir. And then I hope that you can at least take parallels between a choir turning 50 and an individual turning 50. You are celebrating your golden jubilee. And now what? So what? So what? You are 50 today, and what's the way forward? How do you keep the fire alive? How do you keep the flames burning? Or simply put, how do you remain steadfast and faithful in upholding unity? In corporate, we talk about currency. What is the currency that you are trading with? If one looks at definitional aspects of a fire, the question that might arise is what the fire is that we are talking about. Besides its ordinary meaning, what else can a fire mean? There's an idiomatic meaning, and then there is a meaning in the context of the choir, and a meaning in terms of the context in Christianity. To sustain a fire in terms of the choir and in terms of Christianity, fasting and prayer should be observed as a regular feature. Prayer is what sustains the fire and makes it burn always. It's the oxygen that keeps the fire of God in our spirit burning with unprecedented flames. Fire is viewed by Christians and Hebrews alike as a symbol of divinity, holiness, and Christianity. In Christianity, it's the religious zeal. The fire element is seen as a symbol of love and desire, of power and strength, of assertiveness, light and energy. So never supposed to that created and man ice a cow kung scow. Tied rasada ngang ice ngamun. Ding up 4 consecutive ngang ice ngamunka, tiporega munka, kaiba munka, Rasa sisi kaisa munsi hansa munka, ngaba munka, tikadi energy, whatever energy is. A person of fire is someone who is passionate, someone who is creative, and someone that is authoritative. And sometimes for your fire to be unleashed, you need to be in the right atmosphere to become passionate or creative or authoritative. So the right atmosphere is typically what we had since Thursday. Conrad was a good house, a good of more. I said, Kaisra, Angabayo, Tidam Gaisra, Kaising, Ayo. Tidap more, Elogaga, Parakai, you tidap more, Kai Mas, it's a kind moon up now. Ida Namaga, one Isaac Hoka. How can I keep the fire burning? I must, of course, choose the right fuel. There are plenty of things you can throw in a fire, and many of them will burn, but not all of them will have. You must protect your fire from elements. Keep stoking your fire. A fire needs oxygen. Oxygen. But what are those flames we must bring to the greater Rokade choir? What is your value add? What is the currency that you trade in? In a secular sense, how do you show up? How do people experience you? How do people perceive you? Maritara khingan aisrogades diskarada kung sada ningaka. Maritara kwa hause maritara klausen. Kwena madira saka han ai madira munga kwena. And when I say how do they perceive you? Perception is I almost want to say is a joke. Because perception is not always the reality. But there's always perceptions. Don't be like the following things. Because it's toxic. It can lead to death. It cannot be used. It's short-lived. You will forever start again and waste your time over time. Only because of the other. Someone must drag you along. It's something that smells really bad. But it's also short-lived. Rather be like a Tana. Tana ikimiri, Tana ikipeng I. Ngoe ikimiri, ngai ki amabing I. You probably have the best food and access to the best food. Strikes to the plus the half with scout. Kana eating away, eating gira, Haladin and Maran Hawaii, Gagas and Udan even Klingate. Aha, Rava. And so when you show up to keep the fire alive and the flames burning, yes, as a steadfast and a faithful member of the Rogade Choir, you need to show up as a person of integrity. And you need to serve with integrity. You need to be honest. You need to be consistent. And you must maintain a commitment. Haunga for skinny. Titska add me or skinny sa asa ai. Titska he eat me or lasting cannot me stamama. But we at least know who we deal with. Your integrity is unquestionable. Maintain a commitment to the word. And genuinely love people. Then you go to visit Nagarang how or you can Kabasa, Mam good and Kaisa. Kabasa idea that we must be positive, that we show up as people with positive mindsets. And at time we must have a hope meter. Our sense are a meal but a hood, you know, one our sense to the Bungarang additional Tomo. Our sense goes to more. I is a planty that I can have a keep up a planty or have a plan. Show up of the necessary humility. Tamti said Terehari, come and say Terehari. With the necessary cooperation and the necessary collaboration. Season I Kaura say, season I need say Terehari. Show up truthfully. Show up truthfully. Show up willing to forgive. Show up as a peacemaker. Uba Taura said, Uba Rase, Uba Bara eat Hagai when I would say, but Terehari. Show up wanting to help, providing an encouragement and support. Show up as an empath and as an embracer. Nengam Kara, Tirano Kwedi Masiban Mountain Lanka, said Tiri. Show up to laugh and embrace. Show up ready to praise and worship. Yes, to sing and shout for joy. Isaac House, I'm up, guys. Think Isaac House, I'm saying these are the things that we need to do. Show up to pray and be prepared to pray. Show up without judgment. Or a cara say, show up with an attitude of unity, to unite. How Kaura say how Sasirahan Kau say show up with a smile and be friendly. Show up to accommodate. No quitting a clover say, no quitting a Ava say, no quitting a Sansa say, Madi said that show up and be present. We have it again. He that I never have a tin in Sinago. Come against the Gaza, he that I have it around Ogaha, see that are coming, see that are honored Kaye, because we are not present. Sarah sorrow the two in Naba, have a decided kind in Nabatai, see that I'm Nabana, say Kuipunadi. But a clarion call is to show up and be present in body, mind, and spirit. Show up and add to the flame and keep the fire burning. And God is waiting to lead further. Do we want His leadership? Do we want to follow Him? Are you willing to submit to His guidance? Individual fire and flame are needed for the collective fire to keep burning. Wait my yeah. Odaga wolfstools to meet it, President could meet it. I put a home over sending Isaac Haukaza. And if 405 Korean Isaac Haukaza. Habadaga Sada Katui Kawitania. Who say and Camille? Sidagan Hawan Camille. Sidagan Dagromi to Maridaga Kayu, the ice that won't cut it and using Isaac Hauka. Sidagromi, Mana Kaka sending up on a kaka sending up on the take my ear. For the fire to continue burning to centenary, we must all show up and show up in our best demeanor and our best form. Sana the best in Isaac in Iskamay, Idangan Isaac Hauka, Idangan Flama, Kaura Semwaka. Perhaps the Rogade choir who is rooted in these principles, Nehuna Dagadiyo, can become like a bush that stopped Moses in his tracks, a vessel for God's voice in a fiery presence that is never consumed. Stay together and keep the fire burning. I thank you.